Sony announced a slate of different movies and TV shows that it's going to be adapting from video games. And I'm seeing a disturbing trend, which I'm going to get into in just a moment. I know exactly what's happening here. It's like Hollywood only has one mode, and it's so stupid. We'll hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in culture, especially around gaming, movies, and more when it comes to science fiction and the like Helldivers. It is something that we are particularly interested in. I am a science fiction author. My name is John Delarose. This is my newsletter, and you get 3 free books just for signing up. I give you a fantasy book, a science fiction book, and a full graphic novel, a little of everything. I write all over the map because I like to, of course, just have people check out different things, and I like to write different things too, be creative. And so get in on this. I've got a lot of books. I'm very prolific, and of course, I want to connect with you. Check out my work today. It's in the description below, and thank you so much for reading, guys. It's been an amazing last couple of years, and you've really made this worth it. It's been awesome. So grab that, grab your free books, sign up, and connect on my newsletter. Thank you so much. All right, so Sony announced the big one, Helldivers 2, a cooperative tactical shooter game is being adapted into a movie. Now, it wasn't just this. It was like a slate of things. There's a Ghost of Tsushima anime coming out, which all of them I'm very, very skeptical about, which I'll get into in a moment. And, of course, fans are skeptical about it because of the DEI agenda that Sony pushes so far. But I think it starts with lack of creativity. You see how I just do, I dare I say it, diverse projects on my own time, and I make my own kind of things that are way different. And it's so I can stay creatively active. As a creative person, as a writer, I want to go out there and make things that are different, that are new, that aren't repeating myself. And Sony doesn't really have that capability. Hollywood doesn't have that capability. We've seen it over the last 20 years. I mean, what happened in the early 90s, 2000s, and even today to some extent, sequels become like a big thing, right? And so it's like, oh, we had this franchise. We had Anchorman. Better do Anchorman 2 and Anchorman 3, even though it's not a concept that like warrants a movie. It's because they don't have any creativity. They know that something made some money. They try to coast off of a brand and then squeeze every penny out of it. And that's something Sony's been doing in video games for a long, long time as well. We know that, of course, the video game industry is mired by microtransactions and downloadable content. You can't just get a game anymore and play it. You got to just be spending and spending and spending. I was told that by a buddy of mine that his son actually spent over $600 last year, who's like 11 years old, on Roblox different microtransactions. Absolutely crazy for an 11-year-old to do that, but that's how they kind of get you. And that's how they get away from creativity, right? They just try to copy things that come before. They use brands that have come before. And so like in the 2010s, what happened was they decided, superhero movies, Spider-Man made money. Let's make every superhero movie possible, whether it's wanted or not. And we've seen that Sony went down the rabbit hole way too far with stupid concepts like Madame Web and Craven as their latest offerings, which are like, why did you even make that movie? I could have told you it's a bad idea, but it's because they thought superhero movies were just like the hottest thing and they have no creativity. So they just bought every single brand that they had and just went with it and then just greenlit everything. And it went to excess. This is already happening with video game adaptations and movies. We've seen some successful ones already. There's been a Last of Us adaptation that people have watched. Of course, there's been a bunch more in development. And of course, we saw that Sonic is now a $1 billion movie franchise, and Super Mario Brothers just crushed it as well. Well, those are two different things that are just like very, very different than like making a Helldivers movie and a Ghost of Tsushima thing. I don't think these brands are anywhere near those, but here's the deal. Sony wants to do it anyway, right? And the problem that Sony has on the flip side is they do have their DEI focus on everything. Now, Helldivers has been a pretty good brand. It's been a pretty good game on that level. Of course, we know that their community managers and the like have caused problems, but that's what community managers do. As far as the game itself, it's something that gamers have loved. Helldivers 2 actually has done very, very well in spite of all the problems that Sony's kind of foisted upon it. And it's just because the game does not push that woke agenda. It's that simple. You make a fun game, gamers come in, and gamers play it. So now they're, of course, talking about making movies out of this stuff. And this is where I get scared, right? Because once you throw this stuff into Hollywood, once you change all the characters around so you can get that diverse Netflix casting, you know what I'm talking about, where every character looks, quote, the same across series as like this boilerplate. You get the black guy, you get the woman, you get the gayish Asian dude, and it's like, why does every single cast look like this whenever, it's like not, they always say, we want it to reflect real life, but I don't know any real life that looks like that in every single instance. It's ridiculous, but that's what they do. And if they do this with Helldivers, they're going to actually screw up the game. So while fans of the game might cheer for its expansion into cinema, the move raises significant questions about whether a movie will stay true to the gritty, satirical tone of the franchise or become another vehicle for virtue signaling and DEI-driven Hollywood storytelling. The timing of the announcement is noteworthy because it's not long after Helldivers 2 creative director John Pilestad openly criticized DEI in games. This was pretty cool, asserting that such initiatives often compromise creative integrity. And we know that Hollywood doesn't have any creative integrity. It's been a disaster for decades. And so this is why I'm absolutely scared. I actually think this is going to be botched and ruined like many other things that we've seen out there. Yet Helldivers has its own complex history with DEI-related controversies stemming from heated community debates and accusations of ideological overreach by its moderators, and that's what we got here. So Sony made this push. They announced this. It's going to be directed by Alex Garland from Ex Machina and Annihilation. The film aims to retain the franchise's sharp humor while delivering blockbuster spectacle. According to reports, the movie will allow a squad of Helldivers as they navigate dystopian super-Earth and confront alien species to secure humanity's survival. Should be pretty simple, should be pretty easy, should just be some action with some cool-looking aliens, but we'll see what happens as this shows up because they love to make cultural commentaries on this sort of thing. So it's been praised for its unique tone as a game, but bringing that irreverence to the big screen poses challenges because Hollywood increasingly incorporates DEI messaging very seriously into major productions. Fans will be watching closely to see if this happens, and of course, like I said, I'm skeptical because it's Sony and I know exactly what happens. So what Pilestad said about DEI in games, and of course, this was cheered on and very good stuff from him before. He said, if it doesn't add to a game experience, it detracts, and games should be a pure pursuit of amazing moments. So that's the deal. So, of course, if you know what happened with the Helldivers franchise before, there were problems as community managers were banning players last year for criticizing woke ideology in gamings. Leaked documents suggested moderators were instructed to silence anti-DEI voices. Here it is. A new user declares identity politics has no place in video games, which is, by the way, what their dev did up above. Outcome, immediate ban. This is a direct violation of Rule 1. Now, when, of course, he actually made these comments before and was posting them on X the other day, a lot of players came onto his comments, onto his thread and said, you know what, I'm still banned from your Discord because you're community managers. Since you agree with me, can you get me unbanned? And, of course, that didn't happen. At that point, these people were just ignored. Very, very sad. This is what happens. If you're just a gamer, it's like you have no voice. They don't care about you. And that's what scares me about something like Sony developing this into a franchise. You could just see them turning characters gay or trans and just making a big moment out of it in the film and just ruining it like they do everything else they touch when they get into these sort of things. And they never listen, and that's the problem. The reason that Sonic worked, by the way, if anybody's listening to this from this company, was when there was criticism about it, when there were problems with it, when the Sonic looked terrible, if you remember it. Yeah, of course, we all do. They actually listened. They actually delayed the movie, fixed it, redid the graphics, and made Sonic better, and that saved their freaking movie. So hopefully they can listen, but I don't know about this at this point. So I am very, very skeptical myself. I think that identity politics are going to be a problem for the Helldivers movie, honestly, because I don't think that Sony and Hollywood are going to be able to help themselves. And I think that as this slate of video games comes on, they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna bloat everything with like mid video game movies, just like they've done with mid superhero movies over and over and over again, and just burn everybody out once again as we go into this next decade. This is the new trend, and I don't know that it's necessarily a good thing. I wish Hollywood would just pick and choose and actually work on being creative rather than just work on using a surface level kind of thing to just press stamp and go in green light. But hey, these are lazy people. They suck and they have no creativity. They have no souls. That's why they're Hollywood. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, my friends. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for being here. And sign up for my newsletter. Get 3 free books. We're very creative over here, all over with something for everybody. That's really what quote diversity is about, right? It's in the description below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys reading. We'll be back soon.